What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Let Me Finish. This is your boy Dom.
This is Greg.
And this is Antonio.
This
We're
feels so
gonna,
weird, I gotta say.
yeah, just
It's a
so
little
the
different.
audience knows, we're trying something different this week. We're using a platform that allows us to record from home and not in person. So we're testing it out, seeing how it goes.
I think it's gonna probably be better sound quality wise, but I will say I miss you guys. Surrounded
Oh,
around my dining room table that never gets used, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
But I realize also y'all had to drive like 30 minutes here and 30 minutes back. So I just like went to sleep right after y'all left, or watched a little TV, jerked off, like y'all had to go all the way home. So I get it, but I miss the community.
yeah.
yeah. I think we still should record some sessions in person, but I do like the ability that we can now record on the road or if we're just at our own houses. So, it's just a step in the next direction for us. That's all.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe like 60% in person, and then whenever if something arises and either somebody's not feeling up to moving or coming, or you just busy with work, so it's going to take later. This can always be an option for us in
Okay,
the
so you're
future.
saying we're a hybrid podcast, like a hybrid
Hybrid,
workforce, you know what I'm saying?
reverse. This is a
We're
verse
we're
podcast.
versed. We're versed.
okay, I
But
like it.
also, if some of us are traveling for jobs, because some of us like to get new jobs every couple months, and we're gone for 2 weeks, and then y'all don't try to replace me with other, great podcast guests. Shout out to Nancy. So that way, I can take
Oh
my
yeah.
microphone on the road and then still be recording. So yeah, we got some options now.
Honestly, your
And
place is secure, but Nancy was gunning for your position, I will say.
yeah,
I know.
she
Oh no, I know.
and everybody really enjoyed the episode with Nancy and Daryl. And since he's in a different city, this could be an option for him to join us on a podcast episode. So yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, and I don't really have an excuse to cancel anywhere, I guess.
Your trade can still come over before and after the podcast. So
During
yeah,
Oh my,
just keep in the background.
that sounds like an interesting episode for sure.
Actually,
no,
that'd be
my
funny.
trade's quiet.
So how's the week been for you guys? What's been going on?
Let me start. The week for me, it's actually been a better week than the last 2 weeks. So I think on the intro of the last couple podcasts, I talked about this new job. It started with the initial excitement, like, yo, this is crazy, this is good, all these things are happening. And then I came back to Texas, started working, and it was like full blown stress, like what the fuck is going on? But it's actually been better this week because I've kind of had to mentally adjust myself to just, accept that I can't control everything. I can't do 5,000 things at once. And some of my work goals that I've been put on us are a little bit unrealistic. So, it's been a better week just adjusting and realizing I can only do so much within a 40-hour week and I'm not going to work 60, 70 hours again. So, my week's gotten a lot better because of that. So it's been work. I've been back at the gym every morning, 5:30 a.m., killing it. So I'm kind of getting back into my high productivity Antonio mode, as I like to call it. So I've had a good
Well,
week.
good. That's
Okay,
good.
so water off a duck's back. It just took a couple weeks, and you're just like, okay, I'm adjusting to this, or I'm caring less. I'm placing less importance to this.
Absolutely. It's just, it's like anything in life. You just got to sit down and adjust to it and just realize the situation you're in and just, pivot a little bit. So, and one of my things I've always touted myself on is to be highly adaptable. And I've had to put that into play. So, yeah.
I hate when you let the thing that you're like proud of being, it actually gets put to the test, and you're like, wait, is this
Yeah.
actually something I'm good at? Being highly adaptable, is it something I actually enjoy and I'm like thriving at?
Yeah. It's not fun, but, it's part of life. So,
And having a
Yeah,
good work-life balance is very healthy. So
yeah. So, trying to
yeah,
work.
for sure.
prevents
Yeah. Like
stress.
oh, yeah, for sure. I'm trying not to work this weekend. I may have to do like a tiny smidge bit of work, but this is going to be the first weekend in like 3 weeks I haven't worked. So, it'd be nice to kind of chill out.
Yeah.
So I had a pretty good week. It was just kind of one of those not good, not bad. It was just a week. But today, I mean, I do have to share. So I work at like a Mexican-based company, right? The headquarters in
Hmm.
Monterrey, Mexico, and so my not boss, but she's above me, right? So she was like, "Come to the office. The Mexican consulate is going to be there, and we're just having a talk or something." And my dumbass was Googling what is a consulate in the elevator ride up to the office. Like, had no idea. And so it was like government officials that are close with the president. And if you ask me with the gun to my head why they were there, I have no idea. But there was like some finger food and wine, and they gave a presentation about what our company did. And so one of my goals for this year was to learn Spanish. Right, I got the Babbel app, which, to be honest, I only use it when I'm doing a number. I don't know how to say this. Take a shit, but and I was trying to say something clever, but so I'm like understanding it, but I still can't speak it. But I definitely, it was disorienting, you know. I mean, and it makes me, I guess, respect my coworkers because they all work with me in their second language, English. But to just be there for like 2 hours, everyone's just speaking Spanish, and you're just smiling like a dummy. In fact, laughing at the jokes when everyone else is laughing and not knowing it. It was an interesting experience, and it made me think about like being in another country, right? Which kind of segues
Yeah.
into our topic. But how's your week so far, Dom?
Well, I'm curious before I start, what type of finger foods did they have for this
Oh, I
guest?
brought a plate
Ooh.
home with these little cups, and they have like big what is it? They have like cheese, and they have different kind of cheeses and meats, right? And they're like all toothpicked. So like there's a toothpick of like a raspberry and cheese. It's good. It's good. But then there was like some desserts, and I had a couple there, but I didn't bring any home because I'm healthy.
That's the best part of going to like work meetings and stuff, getting all the free food and drinks.
I love free food and
Right,
drinks.
right. And you just take it sometimes because you're like, you don't understand what anyone's saying, so it gives you something to do.
That
Y'all
had
can
to be
relate,
an
right?
awkward situation. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it was awkward. And the final like clincher after the Mexican consulate left. Well, at one point we were handing gift bags to him, and one said like gracias, and I said bien, and that's not right. That's not
Bro,
that's not a thing. And then another time
that's not.
I said muchas gracias, and then like the two people next to me laughed, my coworkers.
You were that guy, Greg. I love
Oh
it.
my
I love it.
goodness. That is hilarious.
Yeah.
Um, my week has been pretty cool. I mean, nothing really has really happened. Just a lot of more working from home, you know. Um, Happy 420 to everyone out there.
I'm gonna take a hit
Celebrate.
just for that. I
We're
got my pen. I'm
recording
gonna take a hit.
we're recording on 420 today. So I was telling all my coworkers happy 420. But yeah, I've just had a pretty chill week. Nothing really exciting has really occurred this week. So I'm excited to be talking to you guys. I was looking forward to today for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Hey,
Same.
Dom, I think you be lying though. It's always like your weeks are just really kind of chill, and I think stuff be happening. You just don't tell us. So I need 1 week, 1 week you come in and give us like some juicy details,
I
something crazy
know you
happening.
never
I'm
seem
I
like
telling
need
you
something.
guys.
something
Something
stress you
happened.
out at
I
work,
mean,
right?
I will say, me and Memphis went out on Tuesday night. I
Of
know that
course
is
you
like you
did.
guys are just like so against that.
Ugh.
Of course you went out.
I'm offended you didn't invite us.
No, because
Yeah,
we literally had a conversation and y'all just told me y'all weren't gonna show up. So,
No, we
you
weren't.
we
I was not gonna
called
show
him
up.
out on the pod.
yep.
Yeah,
I know. I will not show up. So yeah, definitely.
But yeah, we just had just a really long work day on Tuesday, and we ate dinner early, and we were like, "Oh, it's R&B Tuesday. Do you want to go?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's go. Let's have a
at
drink."
where on premise?
Yeah, I went to on premise. Got to see our favorite bartender, and have a cocktail. So it was great. We weren't there very late. We got home, at a decent hour and went to sleep. So it was cool.
Nice.
That is a good thing about going out on weeknights. You actually like kind of pace yourself in a way.
Yeah,
Do
in a
you?
way.
Do
I
you?
mean,
Because I didn't when I went out on weeknights.
yeah, I guess not, but it does tend to end a little bit earlier because it's really sad to stay out like past 12 on a Tuesday. I will say.
Yeah, because it's gonna be
Yeah.
in the back. For me, it's gonna be in the back of my head. Like I got to get up and go to work in the morning. What the heck am I doing? So
Yeah.
since it's always there, I try to like prioritize being
Yeah. I
home
guess
on time.
just yeah, that's a good thing. I think when I was going out last year, when I was going out during weeknights, I had a lot of bad influences that was like, oh, just have one more drink. And literally that's where I got that from because I would go to the hidden door with a friend of mine. I won't mention his name, but we'd have like a 2 drink rule. And then all of a sudden it'd be like good conversation. It's like, oh, just have one more. And then it'd be 5 drinks. And then, so yeah.
Then you don't
No,
make it to work the next morning.
or you
Oh, I
like
made it
get
to
there
work, but
10:15.
yeah.
Right. Well, everybody, we'll jump into our topic this week. So we're going to be talking about traveling, um, the good, the bad, the what we like, where we want to go. We're going to
We're talking
jump
about
in.
paradise. We're talking about layovers. We're talking about the trip from hell with your ex.
Yeah,
Or friends.
everything.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's real. That's on the real. I don't know if we're ready for that.
So starting off, like, what is you all's overall thoughts on traveling? Do you enjoy it? Do you not like going anywhere? What do you feel?
What if I was like, I hate it? I'm a kind of a road trip guy. You know what I'm saying? I actually was supposed to be going to a Mexican wedding or a wedding in Mexico this weekend. Um, Shout out to Kato and Greg. Um, can't make it. They probably don't listen, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of my larger point. I'm a road trip guy, and it was just like I did not have the bandwidth for a wedding in Mexico, right?
Yeah,
But then I
I
ended
get
up
it.
like just sitting here, like listening to people speak Spanish for 2 hours. So honestly, I should have gone to the wedding. I think
It was a full circle moment right there.
it really was. It was like catch 22.
You say road trip. You were actually like going to drive to this Mexican wedding?
Oh no, no, no. I think my first point was that I kind of like road trips more than these like locales, you know, like I want to
Yeah,
be more like worldly and not like the dumb American that's never been anywhere, but I kind of like home, so I like kind of like going somewhere with my car, and I like the actual driving in the car, you know, like, and I like being there and being able to do what I please. And like Texas is dope in the fact that like Houston's right there, Austin's right there, San Antonio's right there, so
yeah, for
everything I
sure.
need. What do y'all think
but
about
but
traveling?
well, I have a question for you, Greg. You say you like
Okay,
traveling as far as like the car sake of it, right? So what's like what's like the limit of how far you would drive on a road trip? Like is it like an 8 hour, 12 hour? Because to me there's like a limit. So
oh,
what's
4 hour.
yours?
I mean, and that's like 4 hours to Houston, 4 hours to
Austin.
San Antonio. Austin's like
Okay.
3 hours, so I
Okay.
think that's a road trip. Anything longer than that, no, I would fly. And honestly, I like flying. I like to go to like New Orleans or anywhere. I mean, so guys, don't hear this and not invite me to your cross country trip, please.
Fair enough.
I think for me, I enjoy traveling. I don't have to do it as much as other people. I will say that. I know I have friends in general who love to travel and they need to go somewhere every 3 months. They're always traveling, or during the summer, they're just nonstop on a plane, in a car, driving, traveling somewhere. That is not me. I like to plan out my trips and my vacations if I'm going to take one. And I like it all to make sense. I probably like to travel maybe 3 or 4 times a year. That includes going home. That's included in that travel. Um, so it's not something I have to do all the time. But to Greg's point, I do love road trips. I do not like driving, but I do enjoy being on the road. That's probably something that I do enjoy. If I can have somebody drive, then I'm going to be the best partner to ride with you. But
Why? Are you going to pick good music? Are you going to entertain? Like,
yeah, I'm gonna pick a good music, a good podcast, something that's gonna keep us both awake and entertained throughout the
and
duration of
what
the drive.
and what podcast would you pick if you could pick any one podcast?
Let me finish. Come on now.
we have a
LMF
robust we
underscore
have a
oh 03.
We have at
yeah, we
least
have a
8 hours
robust
of
8 episodes.
content.
We
Yeah,
got
we
Yeah,
some
have
we
at
audience
least
really
for you
do.
eight
guys.
hours of content. So that's plenty of time to for you to drive and just listen. Shout out to
Oh
those
Lord.
listeners that listen to us while they're driving to work and at the gym and stuff,
But if you're driving cross country, do not listen to all 8 in a row because you'll drive right off the Grand Canyon. Listen to my voice.
Now we have great voices, Greg. We love our
Yes.
voices.
Do
I
we?
mean,
Do we?
Sexy voices. That we got an email that said it. So, just
Really?
putting that out there.
oh, it's gonna be sexy now.
Antonio, what do you feel about traveling? What are your thoughts?
All right. So I do enjoy traveling. So I don't mind driving. I've done a couple like over 10-hour road trips. I went to Colorado Springs one time, like for a quick weekend trip with a law enforcement buddy of mine. I've actually driven from Atlanta and back to Texas twice. Once was when I moved. The second one was for like a work situation. So I've done a couple road trips, but generally speaking, I do enjoy travel. I think right now the only thing is right now the last couple months and year of getting this new job, getting situated, I've kind of felt a need to let me get some things situated financially first, save some money, pay some things off before I get back to traveling because obviously traveling comfortably is kind of expensive,
Yeah.
and the worst thing to do on traveling is like to not have enough money to have a good time, because obviously when you travel, you want to go out to eat, you want to go see some things, do some things, spend some money, maybe buy something, buy a gift. And I've traveled broke before, being someone that's used to be 20, and traveling broke is the worst. So generally
The
speaking,
worst.
oh yeah, yeah. Especially traveling broke with other people who are broke too. That's even 10 times worse. But no, traveling is fun. I love it. I want to do more of it. I got a couple trips planned later this year that I haven't bought tickets for because unfortunately they're like expensive trips. They're not just like, oh, a quick flight, a couple states over. They're like expensive trips for like a wedding ceremony and one maybe to Hawaii. So I I want to travel more, and I think one thing I do see myself traveling more in the future once I get past this year and get some money saved up, get some things situated.
Well, speaking of that, do you guys have any exciting trips or anything coming up this year at all?
Yeah,
Yes.
and next weekend I'm going to right outside of San Antonio. Does somebody have like a fan on in the background? Um,
No.
I'm going to San Antonio for my niece's birthday, and it's like this like kind of water park type thing. They got like a lazy river, so that's gonna be fun. And then I got another Mexican wedding coming up in August.
Nice. What
I
is
will
with
say
what
this.
is all these Mexican weddings?
I know,
Seriously.
too many
I will
Mexicans
say
in my
this.
life.
Of the members of this podcast, Greg is the most I'm not home person out of all of us because on any random weekend, Greg's going to be seeing his family in Abilene. He's going to be in Austin. He's going to be in Mexico. Greg is usually a couple times out of the month he's not here.
That's so funny that you say that. I mean, I do feel like I be gone a lot, but yeah, I think that's like the reputation that I have that I'm always out of town. And I guess in March I was out of town like 2 of the weekends, but that's too much for me. I think
Yeah.
the perfect month is being out of town once one weekend during the month. I think that's the perfect amount of going out of town.
And for me,
Agree or
that's way too
disagree?
many. I
That's too
disagree.
many? So
Yeah.
you're saying like one every quarter?
Probably like once every 2 months. If I'm gonna if it's gonna be on a month basis like that, if I had a choice, I wouldn't want to travel every month. That would be exhausting for me.
It's exhausting. That's getting to the root. I feel like travel is exhausting. And
Yeah.
also,
Yeah.
have y'all ever planned a trip and then you're like, "Oh, that'll be fun," or you agree to go on a trip with people, and then the week of you're like, "The very last thing I want to do in this world is get on this plane." You know what I'm saying? Where you're just like you don't want to go, but then you end up having so much fun. You're glad you are, but then like the bounce back when you get back is awful, you know. But like, I just the week of, I never want to go on a vacation.
Yeah, same here. Or it's like I don't know. I'm not a fan of planning trips if and inviting a bunch of people just cuz you get people that like fall out at the last minute or something comes up and then you got to
All right.
rearrange things. It's just a lot.
Let's call it what it is. Planning a trip with black people is the worst because we've all been through this our entire life. You get like 5 to 6 people, we all plan a trip. Everyone says, "Yeah, let's do it." And then slowly but surely it falls apart. Someone ain't got the money. That's the
I think
worst
people
thing
in
ever.
general, I'm not going to say it's just
I
black
mean,
people.
I'll say the one trip I've gone with all black people, Daryl's birthday, awesome time in Houston. It was very well planned. I just got to say that.
Yeah, it
Actually, that did
was.
work out pretty well. That did work out pretty well.
I know,
But
we
that
had a
was
great
easy.
time.
But that was pretty easy. It was an Airbnb. I don't think a lot was planned outside of just the Airbnb and maybe going out to some bars and restaurants. But yeah, everything else that was a pretty easy trip. I
Yeah.
guess it's more like the excursion trip where you have to get flights. You know what? That's what it is. Driving versus flights. I think if you have to catch a flight, that's when it gets complicated when you have
Yeah,
multiple people and stuff like that.
for sure.
Okay, so have y'all ever been the people that have like dropped out of a trip? like right maybe a week before, have y'all ever been that person, like ghosted somebody on a trip?
No.
Nah, I've never ghosted. I've been a part of that group of people that who tried to plan a trip that fell apart a couple times, but I've never done a ghosting because I think
Same.
once I agree and it's just a week out, then I'm in. But yeah, I've never ghosted on a trip. That's kind of trash.
I've had it done to me for trips that I have planned and people back out at the last moment, but I would never do that to someone. I think it's too much of an inconvenience unless it's a family emergency or just something came up that I just cannot go to.
Yeah.
Then I try to honor my word if I have agreed and put in money for it.
Actually, yeah, same. Like
And-
even a couple weekends ago, I was going to something, and I was just like, I don't want to go, and then I was like driving. It was like a 4 hour trip, and then I was like not wanting to go, and then I got there, and I was like, oh, I'm glad I came. It was just like I
Yeah.
don't when you tell somebody like you're gonna be there for them in that capacity, I think you're on the hook for it. So no,
I-
I haven't actually done that either. I have not gone to a trip because I had COVID, something like that.
Yeah.
Another Mexican wedding. In fact, I have I left a bachelor party early one time because I was not feeling it.
Yeah. I get it. Well, look at us being great friends and honoring our word whenever we're going on trips. Shout out to us.
yeah, we have a good
Yeah,
trip. We have a good friend trip
track
rating or
record.
recommendation. Yeah, track record. I can't. I
Yes.
lost track of words. I
Antonio,
can't
do you
speak
have any
tonight.
trips coming up this year?
Yeah, I forgot that was a topic because we've been talking so long. Yeah, actually, so my brother got married in February. He didn't tell anybody until like 2 months later, but he got married in February. We thought he was getting married in August in Jamaica. So my brother got married. His wife is Jamaican. Her family lives there. So I am supposed to be going to the wedding ceremony in Jamaica in August, the week before my birthday. I have not bought a plane ticket. I have not booked my travel with the resort because it's going to be a very expensive trip. And the other issue with this trip that I'm kind of dreading is that my parents have not flown since I was born.
Yeah.
Like not kidding. They have not been on a plane since the 80s, right? So they want me to fly in a day early to Atlanta just to help them get to the airport, navigate through.
Oh, that
So that
sounds so
means,
stressful.
oh my, bro, the trip is already 5 days, right? So that means I have to take an extra 2 days just to get to Atlanta, and then the extra day afterwards. I'm just like, now,
See, those
granted,
are vacation days.
Yeah.
exactly, and that's exactly what it is. I'm like, I'm using like a full legit like 7 PTO days probably to do this. Now, the only benefit is I do have points with Southwest, so my flight to Atlanta and from will be free because I have points because of my
Good.
credit card.
Same.
But it's just the Jamaica flight, and then the issue with Jamaica staying there is I have to book the resort because if I don't book the resort, I can't get to the ceremony. So I can't do like a regular cheap hotel. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I got Jamaica in August, which again I'm going, but I just haven't bought anything yet. And then I may go to Hawaii with a buddy of mine in probably October because he has like a timeshare. So Hawaii would just be paying for the flight, which kind of be a cool thing. And Hawaii's on my
Yeah,
bucket
that's
list.
awesome.
So yeah, so
Is that
those
your
are kind
law
of
enforcement friend?
no. I didn't talk to him in a while. That's a long story.
I didn't want to. I forgot to follow up with that. I was like, he just dropped that he went on a couple trips with a law enforcement friend, and then I didn't get back to it. Like, tell
Oh,
us about your law enforcement friend.
I got a story about that trip, but let's save that for later. Let's talk about past stories at another past trips another time or another topic. But yeah, so I just got
Right.
Hawaii and Jamaica, and then you know what? Normally I go to Atlanta in July. I normally run the Peachtree Road Race on July 4th, but because I'm going to Jamaica, I probably can't afford both, so I may not do Atlanta because that's a home family trip, and I kind of don't count that.
I think Antonio may win this year's trip battle.
Yeah,
Um,
surprisingly.
yeah, for me, I'm going to Disney World on in July for my niece's birthday. My sister is
Nice.
planning this whole Disney resort, multiple park situation. It's going to be very long, but I'm really excited. I've never been to Disney World before, so I'm gonna probably spend a bunch of money on my niece for her birthday and just having a great time with my family that's going. So I'm looking
How old is
forward
she
to
turning?
that. 5.
5 years old.
5 years
Okay,
old.
Disney World, right?
Yeah, Disney World. Yeah.
Okay, Disney
Yep.
World is hella expensive.
Yes. Like it really gets like intense. Like we have like a travel agent that just does Disney trips, and
Mhm.
she's gives send you all these packages, and passes that you can buy, and meal plans and transportation. It's just a lot that goes into it. But I'm really excited. It should be fun, a fun time. I'm a kid at heart, so stuff like that gets me excited. So I have Disney in July, and then I'm going to Memphis for a wedding in June. So, but we go to Memphis all the time. So that's not really a trip, but I'm traveling there. And then my parents want to take a cruise in November, which is coming up very soon. So if they're going to do this, they want us to go. So that may be something I'm doing as well. Don't ask me where. I'm not planning that. I was just asked to be in attendance.
It
So
sounds like you're not
all of
sure of it.
yeah, it's on the fence, but all of my
Well,
trips
2
this year
family
seem to
trips in
be
a year.
family. Yeah, two family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
When you
I mean,
gotta pay for it.
yep, and including it's like if I go on the family trips, then that means I don't really have to go home. I don't have to visit
Yeah,
home
true.
this year. So
And
That
honestly, like,
counts.
I think I've been the past years been like, "Oh, I can't," like, I'm not gonna take another family trip, like, a bunch of vacation days off, but I have lately because 'cause I'm like, "Okay, family is important." You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
So I
for
think
sure.
that, like, if you can swing it financially, you should do that cruise with your parents 'cause n
Yeah.
next year they ask you to do some shit, you're like, "Nope."
And it's like your parents get older, and I'm already away from home, so I only see my parents like once a year, once or twice a year. So it's like, when I'm asked to do something like that, I have it weighs heavier on me, I guess you could say.
You guys are about to guilt trip me because I have a story about a cruise in my family that my family doesn't know about, and we can talk about at some point on this podcast, or maybe I should talk about it right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you
what's
should talk
it?
about it right now. This is free form, go for it.
It's like a horror
All
story?
right. No, no, no. It's about me being a fucking liar when I was younger. So probably, I think I was like 22 or whatever, and my family was going on a cruise. It was like my mom, dad, my uncle, my grandparents, or whatever, and they're like, "Hey, we're going on this cruise." I think it was going to like Jamaica, the Caribbeans, and I said, "Nah, I'm good. I didn't want to go." So the sad story is that I had went on a cruise maybe like 3 months before that, or no, it was after that. So I went on a cruise with the guy I was dating in Chattanooga, Tennessee, like 3 months after that, and I never told my parents about it because the reason I said no, because honestly, when they told me they were going to cruise with my grandparents and my uncles, I'm like, I don't want to be the only 20-year-old on this cruise because my
Yeah.
cousins weren't going, my brother wasn't going. I'm like, I'm gonna be with my parents, and I was at that age where I was like, alcohol was the best thing ever under planet
Oh,
Earth.
yeah.
So I'm like, I knew what was gonna happen. I'm like, I'm gonna go on this cruise. I'm gonna get drunk, and I'm gonna have nobody to talk to, hang out with. There's gonna be no 20-year-olds there. I'm also newly still gay, confused. So I ended up lying, saying I couldn't go, and then I went on a cruise with guys 3 months later, and I did exactly what I wanted to do, which is got
Damn.
drunk, did some messy stuff, and had a good time. So yeah, my parents
Damn.
to this day, and I still feel kind of bad about it, but till this day, my parents do not know I've been
That
on a
guilt
cruise.
lingers, but,
It
you were
does.
absolved. You need to get that out and,
Oh
it
yeah,
wasn't the
because
right
at this
thing
point,
for you
yeah, for sure.
in
At
that
the time,
moment.
that wasn't the right thing, but right now, if they ask me to go on a cruise now, sure I go because I'm grown. I do my own thing, and I could go still be me and have a good time with them. So I would go now, but back then I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, and you were young. We all
Yeah, I was literally
did
21 or
crazy stuff like
22.
that. Yeah.
You'll be able to do your own thing in Jamaica. I mean, you just gotta get them on the plane,
Uh, I
which, to
I
their
don't.
credit, Atlanta airport is so confusing. It's so confusing.
I haven't
You know
been
what's
in a
funny?
minute, so I don't remember how bad it is, but I've heard it's really bad.
I guess it is, but because I was born there and that's the first the airport I flew out of, to me, it's just I get it. Like the train system, all the terminals, it just makes sense to me. But I get it. If you've not been there, it's like, what the fuck is going on here? So
I will say the
Word.
airport in Vegas was really nice. Like the little
it's-
shuttle that you take to get to Backus claim, and I I love the airport in Vegas.
Oh,
I don't
yeah, you're
remember.
right, you're
I
right.
don't
Yeah, it's I'm vaguely
Vegas.
remembering it.
I don't remember
Yeah.
Vegas being like a nice airport. I just thought it was just an airport, but
No, it's a pretty big
I
airport too.
I
Pretty
might have been
big.
high though because edibles in Vegas is like every corner, so I might have been high too.
Do you guys have any dream travel destinations?
Um, hmm.
I don't. I guess like
No, I
dream
guess
or bucket
no.
list. It's kind of bucket list too. Like honestly, Hawaii is one of my like bucket lists. Like I definitely want to go. Outside of Hawaii, I honestly. So I have a passport. Do I got any stamps on it? I have zero stamps, so I'm kind of trash for that. But I do want to stamp up that passport at some point. I don't really know where I want to go overseas. Like I know a lot of people will say like France, Europe, and et cetera, et cetera. But I want to go somewhere that I can connect with and really feel something. So I don't really know outside of Hawaii where I want to go overseas where I can use my passport. I'm not quite sure of that just yet.
No, and I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm always like the one that somebody says, "Hey, let's go to Mexico," and I'm like, "Okay," So my dream would be to date somebody that was just very worldly and like knew a ton of different languages and has
Yeah,
been to
that's
different
cool.
parts of the world. That was like, "Oh, let's go to Australia. I really want to go to Australia." I'm like, "Okay, yes." I don't off the top of my head, and it seems like the three of us are not like we don't have that wanderlust, that some
No.
people have like Round Rock, who was almost Thailand. Remember?
Yeah, almost. I was gonna say that. That's probably my dream, bucket list dream destination is Thailand. My really, really close friend Tammy, who lives in Austin, shout out to Tammy, she listens.
Hey, Tammy.
Um, but her family's from Thailand, and she had been talking about traveling there and asking us if we wanted to go with her one day. I would love to go. Um, after we have a conversation about it, and I end up on Thailand TikTok, and now I'm seeing all these videos and TikToks about how awesome Thailand is, how good the food is there, and how the people
No
are so
way.
nice.
That's so
So
crazy.
I would love to go there.
So
That's
now you
probably
really
like
want
a
to
dream
go.
place. Yeah, that'd be really
Yeah.
cool.
Well, I hear it's like affordable, gorgeous, food is good, eat the street food,
Yeah.
like I just hear it's like kind of amazing.
Going back to what you said, Greg, I don't know how I would do dating someone who was so travel heavy.
Yeah.
Like they were always wanting to travel and do stuff, and I think maybe it's something you would just get comfortable with, and it exposes you to different cultures and different places you probably never been before. But man, I think I'll be exhausted dating somebody like that.
You
Yeah,
know what?
no. I don't I think it would be very tiring.
I think I would like it because I don't like things to stay the same. So I like the idea of someone who has experiences that I don't have, and then maybe I can
Yeah,
share them, or they kind of push your boundaries a little bit. So I like the idea of it because, example, I don't really know where I want to travel to, but if someone were to make a good suggestion, let's use our friends Ireland and Dallas, right? They're a couple,
yeah.
and Ireland is obviously not
Well,
from. Sorry, my
Wait,
cat's
is
like
that your
causing.
cat?
Yeah,
I
he's
was like,
causing chaos in the
it
background.
has to be the cat.
Yeah,
the
like
cat makes an appearance. The cat wants on the
yeah,
podcast.
he's like knocking shit down or whatever. But anyway, so our friends Ireland and Dallas, they're a couple. Ireland is not from the States, but he's lived in a couple different countries and they travel a lot. And what's cool about it is Dallas, our friend Dallas, he's not been out the country before he met Ireland and they've traveled so many places. I look
Yeah,
at them as an example of I wouldn't mind dating someone who had experiences and new places to go and could show me things
yeah.
because sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and I'm always open for new experiences, whether it be work opportunities or anything. So I would love to date someone that was well versed in travel because I could benefit from it.
I love their relationship and that they do that with each other, and I think it makes Dallas even more comfortable doing it, going with someone who knows the area and knows places to
Knows
go
the
and knows
area of the
people.
world.
Yeah, I think that's really awesome. That yeah,
Yeah,
for
because we
Yeah,
sure.
both can't be lost
agreed.
out here.
No,
Can't be two of us lost because
No.
no, that's the last thing I want to happen is to get lost in another country in a
So
language I
we're
do
all
not
the
speak.
we're all the ones that would get lost. Three of
No,
you
I
us.
know
don't
what,
want to
None of
get
us.
lost in Mexico with Greg.
yo, but the thing is, I'm not even
You
afraid of getting
don't.
lost. I'm not afraid of getting lost.
I'll
I'm
just say
afraid of
be
breaking
in.
rules. Because you know how like countries have different weird rules about different laws about different things. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of like I step on something or I touch a painting and all of a sudden I'm in jail for like a year and a half and I'm in a Brittany
Oh
Griner
my goodness.
situation. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
don't go to
afraid of.
Russia.
Yeah, because my family got money to break me out. Like if I'm in jail for like 2 years, I'm just that random dude that got locked up and you know free tone t-shirts.
Have you guys ever
Those
watched
would
the
be fire
TV
though.
show The Amazing Race,
Yeah,
Way back in the
a
day.
little bit.
where they like travel in pairs and teams? Like it's like husband and wife or best friends or siblings or some that you travel in pairs, but it's a race across the world in different countries doing different like tasks and using a map to get to the checkpoints and stuff. We should have like a TV show night where we just sit and watch some of our favorite TV shows, cuz I would have you guys watch that and see like why I'm so terrified of getting lost is some of the stuff they
What
have to do.
season? Is there a specific season or is it still on
Oh
the
my
air?
goodness, it's still on TV. Amazing Race is like on season 40. It's been on just as long as Survivor, which is
That's
just
still
Wow,
on.
crazy.
Survivor's still on, Big Brother's
Survivor
still
is
on.
still on. Yeah.
People's like really fan out with Big Brother, or people I know at least.
And yeah, I'm
Yeah.
people.
So just a
You
heads
are?
up, if we ever do a TV episode, I'm gonna have nothing to say because I barely watch TV anymore.
I've been watching a lot. Oh, I could run down the good shit, but it's all over. So Beef was really good. RuPaul's Drag Race, edit that out. And then
Too late.
Succession is so good. The Last of Us was so good. And I'm not a big TV head, you know what I'm saying? Like I like watching live TV, like sports or something.
Yeah.
But honestly, like I don't watch a lot of like series. I have a hard time sitting down and watch a movie,
Yeah. I
but
get it.
lately I've binged out.
Yeah.
Anyways, travel.
I know. So you two have traveled a lot for work. Is that something that you all enjoy or
Hate
not
it,
really?
honestly. Nah, I mean, there's some trips that are good, and there's I get to bond with coworkers, but it always involves for me like being in front of a lot of like 50 to 60-year-old strangers that are like in high up in the IT field. So I always feel it's always like a little bit of anxiety, because I feel like it's like being in a room where everyone is just speaking Spanish. That's how it feels sometimes.
Oh,
And
okay.
so but I do like to go to places that I've never gone. Like
Yeah.
through work travel, I've been to Milwaukee, Detroit, Chicago. I go to Chicago like 5 times a year. New York, LA, Minneapolis, Atlanta. Like I've gone places and seen stuff, but also I'm not somebody that like takes full advantage. There's some trips that I have, like I saw my friend perform at a comedy show in Chicago, or like I've gone out with coworkers, I've gone and gotten
Yeah.
trade. But for the most part, it just is me getting there, me getting prepped, like getting my suit on, going to this event all day long, being on my feet, going to sleep, coming back home.
Yeah.
So it's not fun. What about you,
I get
Tone?
it.
So I think it depends, right? So it sounds like your travel, Greg, and my travel is a little bit different. So your travel, you have to be on, you have to be present. Um, and also, I think you travel for work a lot more than I have because you travel on a somewhat consistent basis, right?
Yeah.
So most times I've actually enjoyed traveling for work because one, I think the biggest thing is something you mentioned is that you kind of get to go to places that you wouldn't have gone before, probably, right? Because you're going because you have to be at this place. Like I spent probably 3 months in Mississippi back in 2017, right? Which Mississippi I've driven.
Damn.
Where, okay,
That's
so
well documented, actually.
Yeah.
oh yeah, so I'm not gonna boast about Mississippi because the place sucks. It is what it is. Oh, I forgot. I did trash
That's
Mississippi
what I'm
once.
Yeah.
saying.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. You
Oh,
just doubled down on that.
You're on a
well,
thin
yeah.
line with Mississippi people.
Well, we just found out we don't have any listeners there anyway, so they don't matter because they don't have internet.
Oh
Anyway,
yeah, that's actually. I'm proud that we don't have any Mississippi listeners.
we probably won't
Y'all
ever
are
anyway.
insane.
We're gonna make some t-shirts. But like, okay, so, but even still, I never spent time in that place. So that job forced me to be there for months and spend time and meet people and talk to people. And being someone that's born right outside of Atlanta, living in Dallas, like living in a major city, to kind of have to go to a place that's like a small town market and just to get to talk to people, know people, it was kind of interesting because you kind of get to understand people from different backgrounds and perspectives. But like I said, generally speaking, I've enjoyed my work travel because, like I said, it's usually free. It's paid for. That's the biggest thing. It's paid for. Your flights paid
Yeah,
for. Your car, your food, the meals. So
right.
I've enjoyed my work travel for the most part. But obviously, the biggest thing I don't like about it is it pushes you out of your routine because I'm a big routine
I
guy.
knew
I
you were
like
gonna
to
say
work
that. I
out.
was waiting for that. I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
waiting for that.
Oh yeah, it was coming. It was coming. But that's the only thing. It's just the routine because I can never work out good, and if any intention of eating good on a trip happens, I'm good for like a day or two. Then at day three, it's like, where's the alcohol? Where's the pizza? Where's the dessert? And I'm like, forget everything. I can work out when I get back home. So that's the only thing about trips I hate.
I
Yeah.
eat like shit on trips. Yeah, like on work trips because I'm just like, I don't want to be here anyways, and like I'm somewhere I don't know. What do I get? You know. What
Yeah.
about you, Dom?
I've traveled a couple of times for work. With my current company I work for, I've traveled 3 times for this company, and it's normally for like training or something like that. I will say it allowed me to go to Cleveland for the first time for 2 weeks. I absolutely don't need to go to Cleveland again. Yeah, because it was awful. Like traveling somewhere I'm not familiar with, and I'm traveling alone for work, and I have a rental vehicle, and I get there. It was like February when I went, and it was just snow all on the ground, ice, and it really, really snows up there.
Yeah,
So
for
it was something that
sure.
I wasn't familiar with. So that wasn't really fun for me. But I did go to Scottsdale slash Phoenix for training, and I was there for 2 weeks as well, and I loved being there. That's somewhere I would think I could live, honestly, because I love the weather. I love being warm. The people were really friendly. It seems to always something to do there in Phoenix. So yeah, I had a great time. But
I've heard good things about Arizona. And who was
yeah,
talking about like let's go take a trip to Arizona? I
somebody
cannot
was talking
remember.
about that.
I
Maybe it was
were you
It,
me.
talking about that? I think you were talking about that,
it
but
might have been you.
Yeah,
yeah, I think the difference that y'all are talking about is y'all are like staying for a long period of time. Like I wish I could stay like in Chicago for a week or 2 weeks. Like
yeah,
that would be fun to me because then I would have some downtime and stuff, you know. And maybe I could like build that into my work trips. I probably need to, but like I wish I had like a boo to be like, hey, meet me in Chicago this weekend.
yeah,
That's
for
sad.
sure.
That's
I
sad. That's
I get
sad.
it.
Anyways.
One thing I would love to do one day is to like get an RV or like a travel trailer and just travel, do a road trip across the country. I think that would be so cool to do with like a group of friends. Then we can all take turns driving. If it's an RV, we could
Wait,
stop at like national
wait,
parks.
Yeah, I gotta wait too. I gotta
wait,
wait
wait,
too.
wait, wait, wait.
What?
Hold on. But you're not
What?
driving though,
I
Dom.
don't know that's what I was getting at. You just said that you hate to drive, but
Yeah.
you want to get RV and we'll take turns driving.
I mean,
I think
I would be
somehow it's
fair.
never going to be your turn.
I
You're
would
gonna be
in a setting
asleep
like
in the back of the
that.
RV.
In a setting like that, I would be fair and I would compromise and make sure that I take my turn driving as well. I would
I don't
I
do
know if I
that.
don't
trust.
think that I don't trust myself to drive y'all in our RV. It's me being honest.
I just think it would be fun to just stop at like different parks and different. Just I think a road trip across the country is something you do when you
We
retire.
all die.
Yeah,
That could be fun though.
but I think that would be fun.
That's
That'd
a
be
lot of
something cool to
planning.
do.
A lot of planning though.
Yeah, I don't see any of us planning that. That's it. Maybe Ireland and Dallas will plan that.
Yeah, maybe. Greg is hilarious. What do you guys think about birthday trips? Are you a fan of birthday?
Well, as the resident person who lasted a birthday trip,
That I couldn't
um,
come to because I had
oh yeah, you
COVID.
couldn't
That was really sad.
come. Yeah, that did
But
suck.
we had a great time. So
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't really consider a birthday trip anything different. I think the only thing is it's all focused on you, but I don't mind them. It's not like it's not quite necessary that you travel every time for someone's birthday, but I think they can be fun if it's something simple, not too complicated, not too expensive. Because I think that's the biggest thing, right? Like, I guess
Yeah,
it's almost like a destination trip. Like, yeah, I'm not going to require people to hop on a plane and then get some fancy resort, something like that. But if we can drive to it and, split some rooms, split a hotel, split a cabin, that's not too expensive, I'm down for that. But I wouldn't expect people to come and spend thousands of dollars for someone's birthday.
and just for
for
the
real.
audience knows, like Antonio had a cabin trip for his birthday last year that we went to, and we were there for how many days? Like 4 days, three or four,
Uh,
3 days.
well, I was there for 4 days. Y'all left early, but I was there for 4 days.
Yeah, it was fun. We had a great time. And it wasn't just like we stayed in the cabin the whole time. We got to go to a brewery, and we went ziplining, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
So
that was fun.
I
Tons
Birthday
of
like,
trip
shrooms.
yeah,
by
I like
myself.
I like birthday trips that like we have something to do. It's just not like we're sitting at a Airbnb the whole time.
Yeah, I like a city, but I like the woods like that. Birthday trips for me are like at this point in my life, I think welcomed because it's like there's no milestone anymore. I remember when I would turn 30, I flew everybody. I didn't fly everybody. What am I saying?
Okay,
I
money.
I was about to
everybody
say.
everybody came to Austin for my 30th. I didn't know y'all at that time, so sorry for not getting an invite. Um,
Rude.
but I did book a hotel room for everybody. And then I guess I'm like the oldest by however so many months than my friends. And so like after me, another person had a 30th. Went to New Orleans. It was a joint birthday, right? And then another person turned 30 and I think we went to San Francisco, and then another person turned 30 and we went to Mexico. They just progressively got like bigger and like further away. And it was like something that I started. So I was like, whoa, 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 guys, but I couldn't say anything. And nobody else like bought hotel rooms for everybody or like bought the Airbnb, so
They didn't do it like you.
no.
I love birthday trips. It's not something I have to do all the time. Last year, my birthday trip was a cruise, and that was a lot of fun. And 2 years before that, the year COVID kicked off, I went to Vegas. That was a birthday trip. For my 30th birthday, we went to Vegas, and we had a blast, absolute blast in Vegas. So I've had the pleasure of having really good birthday trips. Both of those trips, I invited more people than actually went, which is one of those
Yeah.
situations where people drop out or back out, and it's frustrating for me planning those. But
Mm.
yeah, I enjoy birthday trips. I would love to go on a birthday trip in outside of the country, like at a resort or something like that. That would be fun. But um, yeah, maybe one day I'll plan something. What do you mean you don't have any milestones left? You do have
I
milestone
mean,
birthdays
what? I
left.
turned 35 and I didn't go on a birthday trip. I had COVID.
35 is definitely a milestone birthday. So is 40, and
Every
so
I
is
birthday
guess
is a
40.
50.
milestone. Every
Yeah,
So is
I'm
birthday.
actually
50.
yeah, I think 36 is kind of a milestone when you think about it.
Every birthday is a milestone. Celebrate
Yes.
yourself.
Yeah, and be blessed to see another year.
I mean, we went to Daryl's birthday to be fair. It was his 32nd,
Yeah.
and as much as I wanted to go, I was like, this is not a milestone birthday. But then it was. I mean, it
Well,
was such a good time.
I think the milestone with Daryl's birthday was that this is the first birthday since he moved away from Dallas, so he wasn't here with us, and
Oh,
Correct.
wait.
excuse us. San Antonio. That's his
Oh,
name.
well,
He
too
would hate
late.
us if he knew that we called him that. San Antonio.
He was on the podcast. He's all right.
He
Yeah,
would hate
okay.
us if we called him what?
San Antonio.
Oh yeah, for sure. That
Yeah,
makes me want to say it even more now,
I know.
honestly.
because San Antonio doesn't fit his personality at all.
I know.
At all.
For sure.
But yeah, we love birthday trips, and I can't wait to see what birthday trips you guys prepare for us in this year.
But hey, I got a idea. What about bad trips? Like, do we have any bad trip stories that we've all been through?
Bad trip
Yes. Yeah.
stories.
My birthday trip, man, I've had more birthday trips than I
I
can
know.
remember, guys.
Yeah, we were talking about like other people's birthday trips, and you're like, and then I had another birthday trip. Like
Yeah,
you
it's
do it, like
crazy.
you do half birthday trips.
I went to New Orleans,
Oh,
man, like a couple of years ago. It was
that one.
Daryl and two other of our friends that we have who went. We did a road trip to New Orleans for my birthday, um, and we had fun. I mean, it started rocky and ended rocky. So we all still talk and still friends to this day. So I guess it's still a success. But that
Well,
was a
what
really
was
rough.
Rocky?
Okay, so me and Daryl got into it on the way there
Oh my god.
because he wouldn't let me control the music, and it was my birthday. Everybody else got to pick what they wanted to listen to, but when I wanted to listen to something, he just had a fit because I wasn't driving. I decided that since it was my birthday, I wasn't going to drive. And to him, it was like, to him, it's
Yeah,
like
you want to
since,
get an RV.
since, and he was like, well, since you're not going to drive, then you don't get to select any type of music. You get to listen to it. So we got into it, but we made up, after a couple of hours after we got to New Orleans. And then Daryl and, what do I want to call? I'll just say his name. Daryl and Trent got into it, also while we were there. And
Because why?
I honestly don't even remember why they really got it. Oh, you know what? I do. Trent was wanting to stay in more of like the gay area there and like hang out at the gay bars and stuff like that. But they weren't really giving the vibe that we were really going for and playing the music that we wanted to listen to.
Mhm.
And Daryl wanted to hang out more at the Bourbon
The
Street and
Yeah, yeah.
like go to like more of the hip hop clubs and spots and stuff like that. And Trent wasn't really feeling that either. So they just got, Daryl gets his attitude and, Trent's not paying any attention to it, but he's still being passive aggressive. So them two mixing, it was
Bad
interesting.
news.
But I wasn't paying any attention because I met a dude there that kind of took care of me that whole weekend. So
Took
I
care
wasn't
of
really,
you.
yeah, this Hawaiian guy, this Samoan guy I met. So we did a bar crawl that we just stumbled upon. And yeah, he approached me and we just hit it off and we hung out that entire weekend for the most
I
part.
love
So
Samoans.
everybody kind of pretty much did their own thing that weekend. And the only thing I asked for them to do was have a birthday dinner for me. I wanted to have a birthday dinner and I wanted everybody to wear, you know, I'm really weird about that. And
You're demanding on your.
I can't believe I'm putting this
Yeah.
out there, but it's like I want everybody to wear blue. Like it's my favorite color. So I was like, when we go to dinner, everybody just wear a blue button down shirt, like something blue. And the only person that didn't follow the instructions was Donovan. And that annoyed me as too that weekend. Yeah, and there was some other stuff that happened during that trip. A situation with beignets happened. I'm not going to discuss that on this
I've heard about
podcast.
the beignets. I've heard
But
about the
yeah,
beignets.
we all like barely talked on the ride home, and probably didn't talk for a couple of days after that trip. But we're all still friends, so yeah,
Oh, that
it's
sounds
That's
fine.
like
so
kind of
funny.
toxic. But
Yeah,
It
but it
was a
brought y'all
mess.
closer in a way. That's funny.
did
Yeah,
it though?
I
yeah, I think
mean, did
so.
it?
Okay. Just making sure. Just it doesn't
I
sound so
I
mean,
great.
think so. I still
Donovan
love all of
Donovan
them.
moved to
So
Seattle and Daryl moved to San Antonio. So
yeah,
Well,
so.
Trent's a mesquite, so
we
somebody
miss
So
you
what
should.
about
guys.
y'all? What are y'all horror stories? I can't be the only one with one.
Oh no, yeah. Let me throw one in here real quick. So a couple of years ago, this is all going to tie together. I was on a work trip actually. I used to work for a healthcare company, so I was on a work trip to not Boston, but just outside of Boston, whatever city it was called. And at the time, I was on the apps, and I one night after finishing work had a rental car, met some guy, hooked up. He was house sitting somewhere, and it was a really good hookup. I was like, oh, this is cool. And you know how like you have a hookup with somebody and you say, "Oh, we should do that again," especially if it's out of state. We always say that, but it's not gonna happen.
Ever.
Yeah, right. Well, this was that one time it actually happened where we kept kind of chatting and talking, and I told him like, "Hey, I might actually be back up there for work in a couple of months. We should hang out, get together, whatever." So I actually did come back a second time. We hooked up again. It was really good. Well, two work trips, and then I'm like, hey, I actually would come up and see you outside of this, like just on some let's hang out type stuff. So
Yep.
I did. I went back up and we kind of planned this trip. So he lived in Boston. He was renting some spot with this guy or whatever. So I go there and we plan this trip. Right? He lives in Boston. We're gonna get a rental car. We're gonna drive up the coast of Maine, drive back down, go hiking. It was like dope as fuck, everything, right? So the trip is good. And I noticed a couple weird things, but it took me a while to figure it out, right? So, trip is good. We're out having fun, great sex, having drinks, seeing the mountains. We met some random girls in the woods. I hike and smoke some weed on top of a mountain. We just did a bunch of cool shit, right? So we get back to Boston. And I think I have like another day and a half before I have to fly back home. Well, I started to notice like a drastic change in him. And I just remember the guy's name because I forgot it. I was trying to think about it the whole episode, but I'm gonna call him I'm gonna call him Cocaine Bear. He wasn't like a bear, but he was actually smaller than me, but kind of bearish, kind of cute, whatever. But I kind of didn't. This is before I knew what a cocaine habit was, but I just noticed he kept disappearing, and I noticed his behavior from the time we were on the road traveling, from the time we got back to his place, was erratically different. He went from like being a super fun guy, nice, attentive, good talker, good conversation, good sex, whatever, to just being like erratic, sporadic, highs and lows, up and down. Kept going to the bathroom. Um, and I just noticed it was just like got odder and odder. And what the ticker was on the last day, I was at his place. We had smoked a little bit of weed. We're on the patio. I'm getting ready to leave. I'm gonna take a Airbnb. He didn't have a car because he lives in Boston. Then so I'll take an Airbnb. I book my car. We're just hanging out in the patio smoking. So my car's coming. I get a hug from him. He has his phone out, and I'm not a nosy guy, but I just happened to look on his phone, and the text read, "Hey, has the guy left yet? And have you done blow?" So I had this suspicion he was doing coke the whole time, but then that
Yeah,
text just confirmed it that he was literally so anxious for me to leave so he could just do some cocaine. And I'm like, yeah, we're not gonna do this again. So I
that's
hugged him, I
crazy.
left,
Wait,
and
what did the text say?
it was something. It was I can't remember exactly, but it was something about he was texting somebody about doing coke, waiting on me to leave, basically.
Oh my
And the
god.
message was, "Has he left yet? And have you done blow or have you done a line or whatever?" So I call him Cocaine Bear because the only reason he was so pleasant because he didn't have cocaine while we were driving up the coast. Thank God, because we could have got pulled over. But the moment he got back to Boston, he got back on the cocaine and his attitude totally changed. And he wasn't good. He couldn't listen. He was just constant talking, random, sporadic. And I was like, oh, it was the cocaine, and he's a cokehead. And I actually did ask him, I'm like, hey, were you doing cocaine before I left? He was like, no, 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 I didn't do it. I didn't do it. And I don't like blatant liars when it's obvious. So I remember leaving, got back home. I maybe talked to him a couple more times and I just left it at that because I'm like, yeah, we're not doing this shit because you're a coke. Listen, I don't judge people for doing drugs. You know, I've done stuff, no judgment. It's just when you're blatant lying about it and it's obvious and you have a
And when
problem.
it's changing your behavior, like when it's changing
Yeah,
your behavior where you can't count on somebody to be like have a pleasant time the entire time, like
Yeah.
where he's going through
Yeah.
withdrawals and then he's high on coke. Like, did he disappear for long periods of time? I guess he just went to the bathroom to do a little bump or something.
It took a while in the bathroom. He like my shower took 15 minutes. He was in there for like 45 minutes.
Man, okay. And I
Yeah.
bet he came out super charged and
Oh,
ready to talk.
it was like night and day difference. You could tell like it was like the person that needs caffeine just to live. He was
Mm,
that guy. Like the moment he did that bump of coke, he was like up hyper. You can tell like just talking to him when you're talking to someone and they just can't comprehend and listen.
yeah,
So yeah.
that's
So my
wild.
cocaine bear. So I wasted a trip to Boston. I mean, actually, it was a fun trip. The guy was really good, sexy, but the cocaine thing was like, yeah, we can't do this.
yeah. I mean, I've had, let's see. Yeah, it's the thing is a weekend when you're not sure about somebody, even if you are sure about them, but especially when you're not sure about somebody, it usually goes like the likelihood that it'll go bad is higher than it going awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I've had like this romantic romantic situation. Maybe they live in another like state or something. And then we meet up or they come visit me or I go visit them and it's just like what do you do to fill the hours in the day after you've done your business? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you like have to get to know them and you kind of resent them in a way the whole weekend. Like, I don't know, it's weird.
I mean, I don't think it's like that if you actually enjoy the company.
That's what I'm saying. When you get to that point. But I'm saying like have you ever taken that trip when you weren't sure, just like Antonio said, like where you're like, "Oh, this is fun, sexy, cool, flirty, like we're chatting, we get along." And then you spend the weekend with him and you're kind of like, "Eh." Have you had that, Dom?
No, I never made it to Hawaii, so
Wait,
I
who are
don't
you
know
supposed
what
to go to
the
Hawaii with?
Like
I don't know
Hawaii?
what the Samoan that I met in New
Oh, oh,
Orleans.
oh,
He
oh.
was
Oh,
from
did
he was
him?
there on business, but he lives in Hawaii. And I
Wow.
was
But
like, we kept in
but
contact after that, and he was like, "When you got to come and visit me?" I was like, "I would love to." Yeah,
I can't afford it though because it's expensive.
yeah.
That's another quick thing. I What I did for that Boston guy, I would never do again because traveling is such a big deal, and I have to really know you to travel with you at this point. Like even if we live local and we're dating, I have to know you for a while and feel really comfortable to travel with you. So I'm not doing that. We have a good hookup. We should go somewhere thing because that's trash.
Well, thanks everybody for listening to another episode of Let Me Finish. I hope everybody has enjoyed this conversation that we had about traveling, and I guess we'll see you next time.
Yeah. See you in
Just
the next trip.
Yep. Just remember the Twitter is LMFPOD03 and hit us up, send us suggestions, and can't wait to talk to you guys next time.